Deep within the earth, a secret lay dormant. A whisper echoed through generations, speaking of a colossal chasm, a pit of unimaginable scale and unknown origin. Locals told tales of the mystery Flesh Pit. Few dared to venture near the supposed site. Those who did spoke of an oppressive atmosphere, a feeling of being watched. Their stories, dismissed as folklore by most, did little to quell the growing curiosity surrounding the mystery Flesh Pit. Was it merely a myth? An exaggerated tale spun by those seeking to profit from sensationalism? The answer, hidden for millennia beneath layers of rock and sediment, waited to be unearthed. The truth, as it often does, lay somewhere between legend and reality, and soon the world would bear witness to the chilling secrets of the mystery Flesh Pit. The news spread like wildfire, igniting a firestorm of scientific curiosity and public fascination. Researchers, adventurers, and opportunists from every corner of the globe flocked to the site, drawn by the allure of the unknown and the potential for groundbreaking discoveries. The desolate landscape, once undisturbed, transformed into a bustling hub of activity. The initial descent into the pit was fraught with danger. The air hung heavy with the stench of decay, and the oppressive humidity clung to the explorers like a shroud. As they ventured deeper, the walls seemed to pulsate with a life of their own, the flesh-like rock formations throbbing with an eerie luminescence. What they found within the depths of the mystery Flesh Pit defied all expectations. It was an ecosystem unlike any other on Earth, a nightmarish tapestry of alien flora and fauna. Creatures of unimaginable grotesqueness, adapted to survive in this subterranean hellscape, crawled, slithered, and flew through the cavernous expanse. The world watched in awe and terror as the secrets of the mystery Flesh Pit were revealed. But the true horror was yet to come, for the pit, disturbed after eons of slumber, was about to awaken, and the consequences would be catastrophic. The initial exploration team, a group of hardened geologists and biologists, descended into the pit with a mixture of trepidation and excitement. Armed with cutting-edge technology and a thirst for the unknown, they ventured into the abyss. Their every step documented by cameras, their every word relayed to a world holding its breath. The descent was treacherous. The air grew thick and heavy, saturated with a strange musky odor. The oppressive atmosphere pressed down on them, a physical manifestation of the secrets the pit held. But the team pressed on, their determination fueled by the scientific marvel that lay before them. The deeper they went, the stranger the formations became. The walls of the pit seemed to breathe, their flesh-like texture pulsing with a life of its own. Strange bioluminescent fungi clung to the walls, casting an eerie, otherworldly glow. The air hummed with the sound of millions of unseen insects, their chirps and clicks creating an unsettling symphony. The explorers, dwarfed by the immensity of the pit, felt a profound sense of unease. They were intruders in a realm where humanity seemed unwelcome. Despite the growing sense of dread, the team pressed onward, their curiosity outweighing their fear. They were pioneers, charting a course through a world untouched by human eyes. Their findings, they knew, would rewrite the textbooks, redefine our understanding of life itself, but at what cost? The mystery Flesh Pit wasn't just a hole in the ground, it was a living, breathing ecosystem, bizarre and beautiful in equal measure. The explorers, their headlamps cutting through the oppressive darkness, found themselves surrounded by life forms unlike anything they had ever seen before. Giant, pulsating fungi sprouted from the walls, their bioluminescent caps casting an eerie green glow. Strangely beautiful, yet undeniably alien, they swayed gently in the windless air, as if breathing. Translucent insects, their bodies filled with glowing fluids, flitted through the air, drawn to the light. The explorers, their senses overwhelmed, struggled to document the sheer diversity of life around them. Slithering creatures, their bodies a mosaic of fleshy plates, crawled along the walls, leaving trails of glistening slime in their wake. Blind and translucent fish, their internal organs visible through their skin, swam in pools of luminescent fluid. The air was thick with the sound of unseen creatures, their clicks and chirps echoing through the caverns. This was a world untouched by sunlight, a testament to life's ability to thrive in the most extreme environments. The explorers, their initial fear giving way to scientific curiosity, began to collect samples, their hands shaking with excitement. They were witnessing something truly unique, a glimpse into a world that had remained hidden for millennia. But as they delved deeper into the pit, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, observed by something ancient and unseen, something that did not welcome their presence. News of the mystery Flesh Pit reached the ears of Dr. Amelia Croft, a renowned biologist and explorer. Intrigued and horrified in equal measure, She knew she had to see it for herself. Amelia, a woman of science and logic, dismissed the more outlandish claims as sensationalism. Yet, something about the pit called to her, a primal curiosity she couldn't ignore. Amelia, with her team of hand-picked specialists, arrived at the site armed with the latest scientific equipment. Determined to unravel the secrets of this bizarre ecosystem, she descended into the pit's depths. The oppressive atmosphere, the stench of decay, the strange, fleshy walls, none of it deterred her. Amelia, her eyes shining with a thirst for knowledge, pressed on. She documented everything, from the bioluminescent fungi to the strange, pulsating walls. As she ventured deeper, she began to notice patterns in the chaos. The creatures, though seemingly disparate, were connected in a delicate web of interdependence. The fungi, she discovered, emitted a unique blend of gases that sustained the pit's ecosystem. The creatures in turn provided nutrients for the fungi to thrive. It was a delicate balance, one that had existed for millennia, undisturbed by the outside world. Amelia, her excitement growing with each discovery, theorized that the pit wasn't a natural formation but a massive, living organism. A single entity that had evolved over millions of years, creating its own self-sustaining ecosystem. Her theory, though met with skepticism by some, sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The mystery flesh pit, it seemed, was even stranger than anyone had imagined. The world, captivated by the wonders of the mystery flesh pit, demanded access. The scientific community, eager to study this unique ecosystem, lobbied for a controlled environment to conduct research. Opportunists, sensing a chance to capitalize on the public's fascination, envisioned a tourist attraction like no other. The debate raged on, ethics clashing with economic potential. In the end, the allure of profit proved too strong to resist. A consortium of investors, their eyes on the potential revenue, poured millions into the project. The once desolate landscape, scarred by the gaping maw of the pit, transformed into a bustling construction site. Massive cranes, their steel arms reaching towards the heavens, lowered prefabricated structures into the pit's depths. The Mystery Flesh Pit National Park was born. The park, a testament to human ingenuity and hubris, offered a glimpse into a world unseen. Visitors, their faces a mixture of awe and apprehension, descended into the pit's depths via a series of glass-walled tunnels and observation platforms. The air, once thick with the stench of decay, was now filtered and climate-controlled. The pathways, illuminated by strategically placed lights, offered a safe and sanitized view of the pit's wonders. The park was an instant success, drawing millions of visitors from all corners of the globe. People stood in line for hours, eager to catch a glimpse of the bizarre creatures that called the pit home. The gift shops overflowed with souvenirs, from plush toys modeled after the pit's inhabitants, to glow-in-the-dark t-shirts emblazoned with the park's logo. The Mystery Flesh Pit, once a whispered legend, had become a global phenomenon. The creatures of the pit, initially disturbed by the intrusion, adapted to their new reality. The constant light and controlled climate, though a far cry from the environment they had evolved in, proved surprisingly accommodating. The pit's ecosystem, a testament to the resilience of life, continued to thrive, albeit in a modified form. The pulsating fungi, their growth now regulated by carefully calibrated lights, lined the walls of the tunnels, their eerie glow captivating the visitors. The translucent fish, their movements restricted by glass barriers, still darted through the water, their internal organs on full display. The slithering creatures, their paths dictated by strategically placed barriers, continued their endless crawl, their glistening slime trails a source of both fascination and disgust. The park, in an effort to enhance the visitor experience, introduced regular feeding times. Tourists, armed with specially formulated pellets, could toss food to the creatures, eliciting a frenzy of activity. The creatures, their instincts undeterred by their artificial environment, continued to hunt, feed, and mate, their life cycles playing out under the watchful eyes of millions. The Mystery Flesh Pit, once a place of mystery and terror, had become a spectacle. The park's success, however, came at a cost. The delicate balance of the pit's ecosystem, carefully maintained for millennia, was disrupted. The creatures, their movements restricted and their diets altered, began to exhibit signs of stress. The pulsating fungi, deprived of the nutrients they relied on, began to dim. The park, in its attempt to showcase the wonders of the pit, was slowly killing it. Despite the unsettling changes, the Mystery Flesh Pit remained a source of endless fascination. The park's research team, led by the brilliant but increasingly troubled Dr. Amelia Croft, documented a symphony of strange sounds emanating from the pit's depths. These weren't the random clicks and chirps of insects, but complex rhythmic patterns, almost musical in nature. Amelia, her initial skepticism long gone, believed the sounds were a form of communication, a language spoken by the pit itself. She spent countless hours in her lab, her headphones clamped tight, trying to decipher the patterns, to understand the message the pit was trying to convey. Was it a warning, a plea for help, or something even more profound, a glimpse into the consciousness of a being older than humanity itself? The park, eager to capitalize on any new discovery, saw the sounds as another attraction. They installed speakers throughout the tunnels, amplifying the strange music for the benefit of the tourists. Visitors, their senses overwhelmed by the otherworldly soundscape, reported feeling a strange mix of awe and unease. Some claimed the sounds spoke to them, whispering secrets best left unheard. Amelia, however, grew increasingly concerned. The sounds, once harmonious, were becoming increasingly erratic, the rhythmic patterns replaced by discordant bursts of noise. The pit, she feared, was in distress, its ancient song turning into a cry of pain. Her warnings, however, fell on deaf ears. The park officials, blinded by profit, dismissed her concerns as the ramblings of an overworked scientist. Unbeknownst to the park officials and the millions of visitors who flocked to the mystery Flesh Pit, a darkness was stirring in the pit's unexplored depths. The park, in its hubris, had illuminated only a fraction of the pit's vastness. The true extent of its depths, and the horrors they held, remained shrouded in darkness. The creatures that inhabited these unexplored regions were unlike anything encountered before. Twisted mockeries of life, their forms sculpted by eons of evolution in the absence of light and warmth. Their senses attuned to the slightest vibration, they were drawn to the surface by the park's intrusions, their ancient hunger stirred by the abundance of life above. Whispers of these creatures, dismissed as folklore by the park officials, began to circulate among the staff. Maintenance workers spoke of strange sounds emanating from the unexplored tunnels, of tools disappearing, of fleeting glimpses of impossible shapes in the darkness. Their stories, met with skepticism and ridicule, did little to prepare them for the horrors that awaited. The park, a monument to human ambition and greed, had unwittingly awakened something ancient and malevolent. The mystery Flesh Pit, disturbed after millennia of slumber, was about to exact its revenge. The stage was set for a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions, a disaster that would forever change the face of the planet. Dr. Croft, her face pale with worry, burst into the park administrator's office, her urgent pleas echoing through the sterile hallway. "We need to evacuate the park immediately. The readings are off the charts. The pit, it's becoming unstable." Her words, frantic and laced with desperation, were met with a dismissive wave of the hand. The administrator, more concerned with the day's revenue than the scientist's warnings, brushed her off. "Don't worry yourself, doctor, just a minor tremor, that's all. Happens all the time, we have protocols in place." Frustrated but undeterred, Amelia tried to reason with him, pointing to the alarming data displayed on her tablet. The bioluminescence levels were fluctuating wildly, the rhythmic hum of the pit had become a cacophony of guttural groans and shrieks, and the seismic sensors were picking up tremors of increasing intensity. "This isn't just a tremor," she insisted, her voice shaking. "The entire ecosystem is in distress. The pit is reacting to our presence, and I fear it's about to—" Her warning was cut short as a deafening boom echoed through the park, shaking the very foundations of the facility. Panic erupted throughout the park. Tourists, their initial excitement replaced by primal fear, surged towards the exits, their screams mingling with the screeching of metal and the sickening grinding of rock. The lights flickered, casting grotesque shadows that danced across the fleeing crowds. In the chaos, Amelia clung to a railing, her heart pounding in her chest, the horrifying truth dawning on her. The pit, disturbed after millennia of slumber, was awakening, and there was nothing anyone could do to stop it. The administrator, his face now drained of all color, stumbled out of his office, his composure shattered. "What's happening?" he stammered, his voice barely audible above the din. Amelia, her eyes filled with a mixture of terror and grim satisfaction, simply pointed towards the heart of the park, where a gaping chasm had opened up, swallowing everything in its path. "It's too late," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "We're already doomed." The ground split open with a deafening roar, a jagged chasm tearing through the heart of the park. Concrete and steel buckled like paper, unable to withstand the raw power of the Earth's fury. The chasm, a gaping maw of darkness, swallowed everything in its path, buildings, pathways, and the unfortunate souls who hadn't escaped in time. The air, thick with the stench of sulfur and the metallic tang of blood, crackled with an unnatural energy. The bioluminescent flora lining the chasm's edge pulsed with a sickly yellow light, casting grotesque shadows that danced and writhed like tormented spirits. From the depths of the abyss, a chorus of inhuman shrieks and guttural roars echoed upwards, a symphony of madness that chilled the soul. Amelia, her grip tightening on the railing, watched in horror as a torrent of viscous bioluminescent fluid erupted from the chasm, cascading outwards in a wave of destruction. The fluid, thick and slimy, ate through concrete and steel with alarming speed, leaving behind a trail of smoldering wreckage. People screamed, their voices lost in the cacophony, as they were engulfed by the corrosive tide, their agonizing cries a testament to the pit's merciless nature. The park, once a testament to human ingenuity, was dissolving into a scene of unimaginable carnage. The glass walls of the observation platforms shivered, sending shards of razor-sharp glass flying through the air. The tunnels, designed to provide a safe passage through the pit, became death traps as the ground buckled and twisted, burying those trapped within. The mystery flesh pit, once a source of wonder and profit, had become a nightmarish hellscape. From the depths of the newly formed abyss, a colossal form began to emerge, its emergence heralded by a deafening roar that seemed to split the heavens. The earth trembled, as if in fear, before the might of this ancient being, disturbed after millennia of slumber. The mystery flesh pit, in its entirety, was awakening. The creature, a grotesque mockery of life itself, defied easy description. Its flesh, a sickly pale white, pulsed and rippled with a life of its own, a tapestry of pulsating veins and throbbing tumors. Tentacles thick as tree trunks and tipped with razor-sharp barbs thrashed wildly, smashing through concrete and steel with ease. Its eyes, glowing with an eerie, malevolent intelligence, surveyed the carnage it had wrought, a chilling testament to the pit's ancient power. The creature, its immense bulk rising from the chasm, began to heave and convulse, its movement sending shockwaves through the air. A torrent of viscous, bioluminescent fluid, thick with the stench of decay and the echoes of countless devoured souls, erupted from its maw, cascading outwards in a wave of unimaginable destruction. The park, already crumbling under its own weight, dissolved into chaos as the creature unleashed its fury upon the world. Those who had survived the initial onslaught found themselves trapped in a nightmare. The air, thick with the stench of death and the creature's putrid breath, burned their lungs. The ground, unstable and treacherous, offered no escape. The creature, its eyes burning with ancient hunger, stalked the ruined landscape, its tentacles snatching at fleeing figures, dragging them screaming into the abyss. The mystery flesh pit had become their tomb. The carnage continued until the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long eerie shadows over the ruined landscape. The creature, its initial fury seemingly spent, retreated into the depths of the chasm, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable devastation. The park, once a bustling hub of activity, was now a silent graveyard, littered with the mangled remains of buildings, vehicles, and the countless souls who had been lost. The air, thick with the stench of death and the lingering scent of the creature's putrid breath, hung heavy and oppressive. The silence, broken only by the crackling of flames and the mournful cries of distant sirens, was deafening, a stark contrast to the cacophony of screams and roars that had filled the air just moments before. The mystery flesh pit, its hunger sated for now, lay dormant once more, its secrets buried beneath a shroud of death and destruction. In the aftermath of the disaster, rescue workers, their faces grim and their hearts heavy, picked through the rubble, their hopes of finding survivors dwindling with each passing hour. Dr. Croft, her clothes torn and her face streaked with tears and dirt, emerged from the wreckage, her eyes haunted by the horrors she had witnessed. The pit, she knew, had claimed countless lives, its ancient evil unleashed upon the world. The Mystery Flesh Pit National Park, once a symbol of human ambition and greed, was no more. The site was declared a quarantined zone, its perimeter ringed with barbed wire and armed guards, a grim reminder of the horrors that lay within. The world watched in horror, the images of the disaster seared into their collective memory, a stark warning of the dangers of tampering with forces beyond our understanding. The pit, its hunger momentarily sated, had retreated into slumber, but the memory of that day, the day the mystery flesh pit awakened, would linger forever, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of our world. The unveiling of the truth. But here's the truth. So, there you have it, folks. The terrifying tale of the mystery flesh pit, a story that sent shivers down your spine and made you question the very nature of reality. But as with many good horror stories, it's time to pull back the curtain and reveal the man behind the monster, or in this case, the lack thereof. The mystery flesh pit, as enthralling and disturbing as it is entirely fictional. No gaping maw of flesh and teeth lurks beneath the earth, no monstrous creature waits to drag us into a subterranean hell. The story emerged from the depths of the internet, a creation of collective imagination and digital storytelling. It began, as many urban legends do, with whispers on online forums, creepypasta wikis, and shadowy corners of the web. There's no single author to credit, no Stephen King or H.P. Lovecraft to thank for this nightmare. Instead, the mystery Flesh Pit is a product of the digital age, a story passed from screen to screen, evolving and mutating with each retelling. But just because the story isn't real in the traditional sense doesn't make it any less impactful. The emotions it evokes, the chills it sends down your spine, the way it makes you question the darkness hidden beneath the surface of our world, that's all real. And that's the power of a truly great horror story. It taps into our primal fears, our anxieties about the unknown, and the unsettling realization that sometimes reality can be far stranger than fiction. The anatomy of a creepypasta. The Mystery Flesh Pit falls into a genre of online horror known as creepypasta. These digital campfire stories, shared and reshaped through countless online communities, are often characterized by their unsettling narratives, disturbing imagery, and a sense of eerie realism that blurs the line between fact and fiction. They thrive on ambiguity, leaving readers to question whether there might be a grain of truth hidden within the layers of digital fabrication. The Mystery Flesh Pit utilizes classic creepypasta tropes to great effect. Its unknown origins, the gradual unveiling of horrifying details, the sense of an ancient and unknowable evil lurking beneath the surface. These elements tap into our deepest fears and keep us hooked until the very end. The story's grounding in a seemingly believable setting, a national park, a scientific expedition, further enhances its believability, making the horror hit even closer to home. But perhaps the most compelling aspect of this creepypasta is its ambiguity. The story never explicitly reveals the true nature of the pit or its monstrous inhabitant. Is it a natural phenomenon, a result of ancient rituals, or something even more sinister? This lack of concrete answers allows our imaginations to run wild, filling in the blanks with our own personal fears and interpretations. Our fascination with horror. Why are we so drawn to stories like the Mystery Flesh Pit, tales that both terrify and captivate us? The answer lies in the complex psychology of fear and our innate attraction to the unknown. Horror, when crafted effectively, allows us to confront our deepest fears in a safe, controlled environment. It provides a cathartic release, a way to process anxieties about death, the unknown, and the fragility of our existence. The Mystery Flesh Pit, with its disturbing imagery and sense of creeping dread, triggers our primal fight-or-flight response. But instead of running from the threat, we're drawn to it, compelled to unravel the mystery and confront the horror head-on. This attraction to the macabre is deeply ingrained in human nature, a testament to our curiosity and our desire to understand the world around us, even its darkest corners. Moreover, stories like the Mystery Flesh Pit serve as a reminder of the power of storytelling itself. They demonstrate how a well-crafted narrative, even one rooted in fantasy, can evoke genuine emotions, spark discussions, and linger in our minds long after the story has ended. In a world saturated with information and entertainment, horror, at its best, cuts through the noise and reminds us of the primal power of a truly engaging tale. Until next time in the abyss. So, while the Mystery Flesh Pit remains a figment of our collective digital imagination, its impact on horror storytelling is undeniable. It serves as a testament to the power of creepypastas, the allure of the unknown, and our enduring fascination with the things that go bump in the night. But don't let the truth deter you from exploring the depths of your own imagination. The world of horror is vast and ever-evolving, filled with countless tales waiting to be discovered. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, there are still some mysteries out there that even the internet hasn't dared to imagine. Yet. This video was created by Daniel Hawkins, host of the Blue Collar News Network. Stay safe, friends, and keep prepping. I hope you all enjoyed this dive into a truly creepy and original story. Hope to see you on the next one. Give me a like if you enjoyed this content and comment below what stories you want to see. The most mentioned story is next week's episode.